That onigiri from Studio Ghibli Spirited Away represents simplicity, comfort, warmth, and hope. So today, I'm gonna bring it to life. Just imagine, your parents have been turned into pigs, you're trapped and alone in a terrifying world for spirits and gods, and you're forced to work for a witch to save yourself and your family. That burden is overwhelming. So when Chihiro finally has a moment to breathe and finally receives kindness with onigiri from someone, the emotions set in and the tears start to fall. I'll show you how to make the accurate, faithful version just like how Haku made it for Chihiro. It's so simple, you only really need one ingredient. That being said, I'll also show you different types of fillings that take this onigiri from a symbol of comfort to a personal feast that you can easily do as well. Let's get to it. Now, in the movie, if we look at the version Haku makes to comfort a terrified Chihiro, it's never shown if there's any filling, and there's no nori wrapper. So, for this onigiri recipe, it all starts and ends with the rice. I'm using short grain Japanese rice for that sticky, tender texture, which is crucial for the rice ball to hold together. I'm also going to use my dedicated rice cooker because it makes the job so much easier. I don't have to worry about the timing, and it keeps the rice warm for whenever you need it. Plus, it sings to you. At least mine does. What a cute feature. Using a rice cooker is pretty straightforward, but if you want to see an in-depth approach of making perfect rice every time, even on a stove with a regular pot, you can check out my first video I ever made for this channel. So as part of the assembly process, we need to get our prep area ready. In addition to my wooden board, I'm placing some saran wrap over it. That will help the rice from sticking to the board. I'm also going to have one bowl filled with water and another with some salt at the ready. Once the rice is cooked and ready, I'm going to dish some out on a plate to let it cool just enough so you can handle it with your hands. The rice needs to be warm to the touch to maintain its stickiness. Now this is where the craft of making onigiri begins. We're not using any molds, just our hands, just like Haku presumably did. We're going to do a little trick. Dip your hands in water, then place a couple fingers into the salt, then rub your palms together. This stops the rice from sticking to your hands, and more importantly, it seasons the onigiri with some flavor. I'd say this is the magic imbued that Haku mentioned to Chihiro. Now, take a warm handful of rice. Hold the rice in the palm of one hand, then use your other hand to shape the rice into that iconic triangle. The key is to be gentle. You want it firm enough to hold its shape, but still airy inside. It's a delicate balance between finesse and strong pressure, something that takes practice and time to get a feeling that works for you. I can count the number of times on my hand that I've made onigiri, so it's definitely still a learning process for me, as you're gonna see later on in this video. Enjoy watching my struggle. You can see I grabbed a second handful of rice to mold like I placed some filling inside. Rookie move. As I'm shaping this, it's hard not to think about that scene between Chihiro and Haku. Haku finding Chihiro, overwhelmed with fear, and telling her to eat to get her strength back. This onigiri is a moment of kindness that gives her permission to finally let it all out. That's what this food represents. And there you have it, Haku's movie-accurate onigiri. This is the classic Shio onigiri, a simple type of Japanese rice ball made with just perfectly cooked rice and salt. It's warm, fluffy, and will surprisingly fill you up. So, how can we make this even better? I identify 3 different fillings we can use to upgrade these rice bowls and elevate them to a level with more depth and flavor. Plus, to give that classic onigiri look and an extra layer of savory flavor, I'll introduce nori seaweed and wrap each one in a different style. Or at least try to. First, let's level up with a classic, the ultimate comfort filling, Tuna Mayo. This is a staple for a reason. It's creamy, savory, and just so satisfying. We'll take a can of tuna, water drained, and mix it with 2 tablespoons of Japanese mayonnaise and about a half tablespoon of soy sauce. This filling is like a warm hug, the familiar taste of the human world Chihiro wants back. The next elevation is with a fillet of leftover salmon that I pan-fried on each side. With the skin removed, I'm going to flake it apart with a fork or a chopstick whatever you have until they become nice little pieces. The salmon was already seasoned with salt and pepper when cooked, so no additional seasoning required here. Now, the final upgrade I'm going to do is a real flavor bomb. Umeboshi, or Japanese pickled plum. If you saw my video of Sasuke's bento from My Neighbor Totoro, you'll know its power as I experienced it. It's intensely salty and incredibly sour. It's definitely an acquired taste, but it's a beloved traditional filling. I'll just take the pit out. This represents the bittersweet reality of Chihiro's journey. That sharp, sour jolt is like the challenges she faces, but it's balanced by the plainness of the rice. It still sends a shock to your senses, that's for sure. So these are the 3 fillings that I'm going to use. If you have a favorite filling, post it in the comments. I'd love to know what else is out there. Okay, time to assemble. Just like Haku's onigiri, hold the rice on the palm of one hand, then use the other hand to shape the rice. To fill it, use your fingers to press and make an indent in the middle of the rice. Then pop a spoonful of the filling in. Grab another handful of rice and make sure it totally seals the filling. Then we'll shape it into a triangle. Do note that you're welcome to shape the onigiri however you like. I just like triangles because when I think of onigiri, that's the shape that first comes to mind. I'm pretty sure Dragon Ball influenced me back in the day. With the rice balls assembled, we'll wrap each one with nori in a different style. A couple of helpful pointers before I show you. Note that there is a rough and smooth side to the nori sheets. For best adhesion, you want the rice to stick on the rough side. Also, if you want the nori to remain crispy, wrap the seaweed right before eating it, as the warmth of the rice will soften the nori. For our tuna onigiri, I'm cutting a strip of nori to wrap the bottom and go up the sides, about halfway through. For me, this is the most iconic onigiri, and also the simplest to do. Next, for our salmon onigiri, I'll wrap this one with a wider band of nori around its sides. Moving forward, I probably need a longer strip and also position it better so it wraps accordingly. Just don't look at the back of it, okay? I do like the look of this style, so I'll practice more. This looks fine now, but it did need a few smaller pieces to close the gaps. Lastly, I'm going to try and give a full wrap to our umeboshi onigiri. I'll grab a large piece of nori, place the onigiri in the middle, fold it upwards, and wrap it around. And I'll be honest here, this is pretty rough looking. Suggestions in the comments are welcome. Help me out here. In the end, it's still gonna taste great, but I'm gonna lose presentation points here. Finally, to top things off, I'll place a little bit of filling on the tip, which will help people know what filling is inside. Except the umeboshi one, it's a good way to surprise someone if you're feeling wicked, like No Face in the bathhouse. And here it is, a platter of onigiri rice balls that tells the story of Spirited Away. The original is simple and really filling. It hits the spot. This would definitely help Chihiro get some of her strength back to complete her journey. When I first watched Spirited Away back when I was a high school student, that emotion, that burden never really dawned upon me until I rewatched it as an adult. Now with kids myself, it hits a lot harder given the gravity of the situation. Having a 10-year-old child work to get back her parents' humanity and freedom to save the day is such a daunting task, but she pushes through and becomes a better person because of that. Each one of these onigiri is like a hidden treasure. Cozy, elegant, powerful. What starts as a simple rice ball becomes a canvas for our own tastes. Haku gave Chihiro that foundation, and from there she had to find her own strength. In the same way, the simple onigiri is a perfect starting point for us. These aren't just any rice balls, this is iconic Ghibli food right in your own kitchen. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe so you don't miss out on more Ghibli food and other video game food in real life. I made some videos on Ponyo's Ramen and Calcifer's Breakfast where you can check them out here. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care, everyone.